What is going on, everybody? Have you ever taken a bite out of a popsicle? Then playing Slaanesh in Warhammer 40K might be the army for you. Right now, we're going to talk about the only troop choice in the army, the Daemonette. Now, this model comes in at 6 points, which I believe is the cheapest of all of the demon troops, besides Nurglings. The banner and horn blower are going to cost you an extra 25 points, but minimum you could take a squad of 10 for 60 points. Stat line is okay. Movement 7, weapon skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, 2 attacks, leadership 7. 6 up armor save, 5 up demon save. This model's melee weapon is just strength user, AP 1, 1 damage, and if you roll a 6 to wound, it's AP 4. So that's pretty cool. You can dig out wounds on vehicles, things with a high armor save. You'll be able to put some wounds through, and you get a good volume of attacks. Every model has 2 attacks. The champion has 3, but when the unit is 20 or more models, everybody gets +1 attack. So a 30-man squad, 30 times 3, 90, +1 extra for the champion. 91 attacks if the whole squad made it into combat, which again, Slaanesh has really got a lot of stuff that stacks with being in combat, but not a lot of stuff to get to combat. So in a game that is predominantly shooting. The strength of their weapon is user, so near a herald, you would be strength 4, which is nice. Near a demon prince, you would be re-rolling ones to hit, and with your magic banner, which is a stratagem upgrade, you could also be re-rolling all misses for 1 turn. So if you could get a big unit in, that's a lot of attacks and a lot of rerolls, which is powerful. The Instrument of Chaos, just like all the other ones that we'll get to in this army, gives you +1 run, +1 charge. And when you're near a hero, you can run and charge. So that's pretty cool. That basically makes you the equivalent of 9-inch move with a 3d6 charge. That's how you're going to roll it basically every turn, trying to get across the battlefield. Pretty unlikely, unless you roll very lucky, they make it first turn. The banner, the demonic icon, this is going to give you, on a morale test of 1, you get D6 models back instead of models running away from suffering casualties. Whenever this happens, it's always awesome, and your opponents always hate it. And they also have Quicksilver Swiftness, just like all Slaanesh demons, so they do fight first. Now we're going to get into a little bit of thoughts on the Daemonettes, so hopefully you have stuck around this long. I think there's a few directions to go with this unit. 1, you're taking them only because you have to and you want command points. And in that case, you're taking little 10-man squads for 60 points, no upgrades, and just trying to sit them on little objectives or just be a general nuisance, little harass units. They're so squishy, though, especially at 10 models, that your opponent's not going to fear them at all, and hopefully they won't shoot them. But if you're going to take 3 squads of 10, I would think that would be your second attachment to try and get an extra 5 more command points on top of your already, other detachment that you built. Another option is you do 3 max squads of 30, 60, 90 Daemonettes. It's a lot of models. This is just going to overwhelm your opponent, hopefully. Give them just, their big juicy units to shoot at, and hopefully you get enough across the battlefield that they can still make an impact when they get there. This is another strategy, although they're going to come in 6 points a model. 30 of them is 180 points. If you're taking 30, I would upgrade the banner and musician, so you're looking at 205. So 615 points for 90 Daemonettes. 615, not too bad. And that would make it, 1,230 points if you wanted to take 180 Daemonettes. That would be, in an army list idea, of about 180 Daemonettes, 4 HQs to get maximum of 10 extra command points for stratagems. And I would probably go syll'esske, 3 demon princes, or, you know, the Infernal and Chap and Raptress. I'm going to mess that up every time. Or the Epitome. Just little characters that can't be targeted necessarily, hidden among them. If you do squeeze in a Keeper of Secrets, you're going to deep strike it for sure. I think that would be maybe an interesting army. Unfortunately, painting 180 Daemonettes is not fun. Moving 180 Daemonettes is not fun. Transporting 180 Daemonettes is not fun. So, and you could, you know, you don't have to deploy them all. You could deep strike some of the units with all these command points you'll be able to generate with that army list. You won't be able to squeeze much more in, but 180 models is 180 wounds. That's a lot of wounds on the battlefield, I do believe. So I think your tactics for these are big blobs running forward. And if you're, depending on what kind of mission you're playing, if you need to keep something in your own deployment zone, you know, try to find that minimum squad size that you can just sit on objectives and not waste too many points. I do think they're decently good in fighting and combat, but they suffer a little bit like in the special rules department. Plague Bearers are doubling down on survivability and then have stratagems and characters to buff damage output. Bloodletters have no survivability, but when they deep strike, they have a banner that almost guarantees they make the charge. So Pink Horrors have an enormous amount of firepower at 18-inch range. These have to be in combat. They're semi-fast, basically a 9-inch plus 3d6 move, but maybe not fast enough because a Premier Space Marine already moves 6, so it's not like you're dashing across the battlefield at incredible speed. Maybe if they were moved 10 or something, they'd be a little bit more powerful, or if they had like a +2 run, +2 charge, that would be pretty sweet. But I think you're definitely either, well, like we said, you're going to have to play around with what's the sweet spot for you. Too little, they're going to die too fast. Too many, you might just, like, they might still die too fast, and you might have wasted too many points on them. One option I'm thinking, you could maybe deep strike 3 20-man units for 3 command points, and that's coming out of reserves on turn 2, and putting them a little more strategically where you need them, assuming what you deploy, of course, is strong enough to survive the first turn, assuming you don't go first. But in my brainstorming so far, and just my knowledge of 40K, I think you're going to want to maximum double down on what you can do first turn and tie up as many units as you can in combat, and hopefully they can't fall back and shoot for whatever reason, you know, if they have fly or they're an ultramarine. But all it takes is wrapping up 1 unit or 1 tank that can't retreat, and you're safe from the shooting phase. So definitely check out the Daemonettes of Slaanesh. I think I own over 100 of them. I haven't actually counted them in a long time. Most of mine are the old Big Claw metal ones. I do think I'll probably be selling all of them off. I'm getting real tired of metal models. They're my favorite, some of my absolute favorite GW models, so I might just keep 1 of each. But I don't think I need 70 metal ones, and it's just so much easier to transport the models in plastic. If you've had any experience with playing or playing against Daemonettes, let me know down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find out ways to do that down below in the description. The fun thing about the Daemonette is it's 6 points, and it can hurt vehicles. It can hurt any unit, right? You're fishing for 6s with AP4, but even base AP1 is not bad. You put a few wounds out there, but you're going to want to be near a Herald, because you have to be strength 4, because you're going to want to at least be wounding tanks on 5s, most tanks anyway. Against a Knight or a Land Raider or something, you're still going to need 6s, but 6s are going to give you the strong AP. And an Imperial Knight with a 3-up armor save, every roll of a 6 is going to go straight through, because they don't have their invuln in hand-to-hand combat. So unless they took the 2-up armor save, they, you know, you're putting wounds through. Although I don't think the Knight is necessarily what you want to fight with this model, or these models, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So hopefully you're enjoying this series so far. Please subscribe. We got more coming. Next up will be my absolute favorite unit in the army, the Seekers of Slaanesh.